DIY gifts. Today I'm going to share with you some different gift ideas to make for friends and family. This is Graciously Gloria. So we're going to start off with some Christmas potpourri. So we'll need an orange, and you'll need some cloves and some cinnamon sticks, and perhaps some fresh rosemary. If you have that, you can use that to tie it as a little festive decoration. So we want to cook the orange first, low and slow on 200 degrees, about 4 to 6 hours. So I'll check it at 4 hours, see how it's doing, and if it's dried out enough, and if not, it might need a little bit more time. You will want to thinly slice the orange. Watch out for your fingers. It smells good. Once you have your orange all sliced up, and depending on how many different portions you want to make, you can use several oranges. I have a cookie sheet here with a drying rack, and what the drying rack is going to do, it's going to help you not have to turn over the oranges as they're baking, because the air is going to be able to circulate that way. I would say one orange would make 3 different bags, because you put about 2 slices of orange per, or if you'd like to put 3 slices of orange in each container, then that would make 2 bags per orange. Once that's all dry, then I will add 2 cinnamon sticks and about a tablespoon or so of the dry whole cloves. And then to package that, you're going to put that in a little cellophane bag with a ribbon. And like I said, if you have a fresh piece of rosemary, you can tie that on for decoration, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done. Taco seasoning. I think this makes a great gift because the person could use it for tacos, they could put it in chili, and you often have most of these ingredients on hand. The only one you might not have is the chili powder and the amount that you may need. I prefer the New Mexico chili powder, so I ordered that one off Amazon. But then the other ingredients are things like paprika, onion powder, ground cumin, garlic powder. And so I'm going to make half the recipe right now, but I will put the link for the full recipe. So half the recipe calls for 1/4 a cup of chili powder. The full recipe would be 1/2 a cup of chili powder. So let me go ahead and add that chili powder. Now for me, I actually tend to add a little bit less than the recipe asks for, because I don't want mine too spicy. And then I'll go ahead and add the onion powder and the garlic powder, the ground cumin. I have all these pre-measured out just to make it easier to show you. And the paprika. Now I tend to use the smoked paprika. You can use regular paprika or smoked paprika, whichever you prefer. The smoky one has a little extra smoky flavor to that. And then it calls for sea salt. I just use my regular Morton salt that I normally use. You can just put this in a mason jar, makes it really easy to gift that way, and just stir it up or shake it together. I just give it a nice stir to incorporate all those ingredients. And then if you want to shake it, just put on the lid and give it a little shake. I'll read off the full ingredient list so you can see that. It's a 1/2 cup chili powder for the full recipe, 1/4 cup onion powder, 1/8 cup ground cumin, 1 tablespoon garlic powder, 1 tablespoon paprika, 1 tablespoon sea salt. And again, like I said, you just shake it all together, put that in a mason jar. This is what the half recipe looks like. If you did the full recipe, we've got up to here to fill up this size. Put a little ribbon on it, and then the person can use this. Usually about 2 tablespoons is what I use per recipe, but they could use like 2 to 3 tablespoons of this when they're preparing their tacos or chili, things of that nature. sugar scrub. The recipe I'll post calls for lavender essential oil, but I'd say put whatever essential oil you think that the gift receiver would enjoy. A great choice for the holiday season is peppermint. I also think eucalyptus is lovely. You could put orange, lemon, lime essential oil. So many different choices there. I did a little DIY fun get together with my girlfriends last year, and we all made different sugar scrubs, and everyone got to take home their own, and people put different scents, and that was a fun little get together to do during the holidays. Made a gift for themselves, and they can make extra for friends to give. So for this, some of the greens you're just going to have on hand, like sugar, 1 cup of sugar. Then I already measured out some coconut oil. There's a couple different choices there for oil. You could use a coconut oil, you could use almond oil, or olive oil. So added in the coconut oil. That's going to help make it so soft using it on their skin. And then vitamin E oil. This calls for half a teaspoon. And I'll post the link to where to get your own vitamin E oil. And then it also calls for half a teaspoon of vanilla. I have my own homemade vanilla. As a bonus, I'll pop in a recipe for you under the links as well. And really, to make this, you would just use vodka and some good quality vanilla beans. And then as it just goes down, you can see mine's going down, then I need to add some more vodka to that and just shake it up. And it takes a little while to really intensify the flavors, and the details will be in that link I post for you. Vanilla smells so good. And then you want to add the essential oil of your choice, about 15 to 20 drops. All right, that's it for the ingredients. Pretty simple, right? Give that a stir. If you wanted it to be a color, you could put a little food coloring in, but I just think the natural color is fine. I like these size little jars for this. And will have enough to make 2 jars. Put that on. You could decorate with a little bit of ribbon, and I know some of you are crafty out there with Canva. You can do your own little stickers on there and write sugar scrub, or you can just even use a permanent marker and just write it on there yourself. Great little gift. Hot Coco Bombs. So I made these, and you can decorate them so many different ways. You can make your own homemade hot cocoa to go in it, or just store-bought. That's fine too. I'll pop a picture in of what the ones when they're all finished, what it looks like, and you can decorate with different things, like some crushed candy canes are fun to decorate the top with. Just add a little melted chocolate and sprinkle those crushed candy canes on top. But first, how do you make the Coco Bomb itself? So you're going to get these kind of molds, and so you'll put, each one will have 2 different sides to it, and you want to melt your chocolate. Chocolate chips are best. So you can either melt your chocolate in a double boiler, or I just did mine in the microwave, about 20-second intervals, 50% power. And so now I have some melted chocolate. I'm not going to do a whole huge set right now, but I'm just going to do a couple to show you how to do it. And you want to spoon that in and kind of put it up on the sides. That smells really good. And then what you're going to do after you get those all spread out, then you're going to let it set for 5 minutes, and then we'll take whatever's pooled at the bottom and push that up to the sides to create a thicker side, because the gravity kind of pulls it down, and we want to push some back up to have some nice thicker sides to that sphere. Now, some little fun additions to the hot cocoa mix, you could put some little mini marshmallows and you can add that into your hot cocoa bomb with the hot cocoa. That's kind of a fun addition. So I made some here and I'm going to let those set for 5 minutes and then I will put those up on the sides next, about 5 minutes. So I'll pop a link in for my homemade hot cocoa that I made. A great way to gift that is in a larger mason jar, and that will give them several servings, many servings of the delicious hot cocoa. Or you can just buy a store-bought one. This one is just from Trader Joe's, and I'm going to use that one to add into my Coco Bombs. It's been 5 minutes, so what I want to do is take the chocolate that's pulled out at the bottom and scoop and put that back up on the sides. Again, you're trying to get the thicker sides that way. And then you'll let those fully set. If you're in a hurry, you could put that in the fridge or just let it set on the counter till it's fully dry. And then we'll be popping those out. And then to put the two pieces together, a couple of different methods. One is to take a plate, put some water on it, microwave that for 15 seconds, take the water off the plate. That's just going to warm the plate. And then you take one side of the sphere and get that a little bit melty to adhere to the other side. So you have one side, you have the other side has the hot cocoa in it, and then you put those two sides together. Another option is just to add a little bit more melted chocolate, add on the rim of one side of the sphere, and then attach it to the other side that has the hot cocoa in it. I think the hot cocoa bombs are a fun thing to make with your kids or grandkids, and you can make them with them or for them, but it's fun to do some different DIY things together. Each year I also like to take on a new DIY project for the holidays. So this year I've done bath scrubs before plenty of times, which I like to do that and then give that as a gift. But this year I decided, why don't I branch out and try some shower fizzes and some bath bombs. So this is a shower fizz, but you also call it shower melt is another name. So for that, you're going to need some baking soda, Epsom salt, an essential oil of your liking for whatever scent you want to add, and a little bit of water. So I have my ingredients measured out. I have 1 cup of baking soda. You know, usually I have that smaller box, so I needed to get that larger box, so plenty there. And then half a cup of Epsom salt. Then 20 drops of essential oil. For this one, I'm going to use lavender. We have a neat lavender farm here, and they have a fun little lavender activity, little like a lavender festival. And so I got this from that farm. So add 20 drops. For lavender, you can put some fresh lavender as well. I'm going to give that a stir. Then I'm going to only put about a teaspoon at a time. Stirring it in between. You just want to get enough water in there for it to bind together. And once that's all combined, then you want to have a little silicone mold. That'll make it easier for it to pop out. I chose this fun heart mold. I ended up putting 4 teaspoons in mine. So let's see how this all turns out. I was reading that you do want to kind of push it to compact it into the mold. Kind of compacting it really well. It will all stay together. Oops, making a little bit of mess. That's okay. Smells really good. And then you know how someone went for the shower Fizzy, they just put that on the ground in the shower by them when they're taking their shower, and it gives a nice scent to the shower. You know what would be great is like a eucalyptus, especially if someone has a cold. That could be a great gift for somebody. I think a great way to give these would be in a little cellophane bag with a ribbon on it. So here's what mine looks like. I'm gonna let that dry, and then we'll pop one out, and we'll hope that they are all still all congealed and bound together. This next one is a bath bomb. So I haven't made those before, and the one I'm gonna make, I'm deciding to use peppermint and eucalyptus because that sounds fun. And you can put that again in different silicone shapes. Some of the ingredients are the same as the other one, but this one adds a few more ingredients. So you do want that baking soda again, cup of baking soda, half a cup of Epsom salts. I use this one from Dr. Teal's. Get it at CVS, just the fragrance-free one. Three-fourths a cup of cornstarch. This recipe that I'm going to post for you calls for mica. That is just to color it. Then it calls for citric acid. Okay, the one thing I was reading on the tips is they said add that after you add the wet ingredients. So first you want to combine the other dry ingredients minus the citric acid. That one I found it on Amazon. So I'm going to give this a stir. The citric acid is going to have it be giving you that bubbly effect. The fizzy thing. Fizzing in the bathtub. Okay, so I have these dry ingredients done, so I'm going to add some wet ingredients, and it calls for 2 tablespoons of almond oil. This is really moisturizing almond oil. Let's put that a little bit there. Okay, give that a stir. Three teaspoons of witch hazel. Witch hazel is a good astringent. People use that as a toner. I like to use it a little bit under my arms, and it cleans that, kind of preps it for your deodorant. Now I'm going to add 20 drops of essential oil. So I'm going to do 10 of the peppermint and 10 of the eucalyptus. Here's my eucalyptus. There's a lot of great brands out there of essential oil. There's a lot of companies that sell just essential oils, or you can find a large variety, especially at a place like Whole Foods. This larger bottle of peppermint I got online. Okay, so then now I'm going to add the citric acid. Okay, you also want a small spray bottle with some water. And then as I was reading, you want to press that in really well to the mold. I'm just going to use that same mold, this half that you can use for the hot cocoa bombs. You can do two sides and make a whole ball, sphere, or I'm just going to maybe keep them as like half ones to give out and probably put like 2 per bag. Okay, so like again, a little cellophane bag would be great. So it's saying to put about half in and then spritz that with a little bit of water. Well, it's going to fizz a little bit from the citric acid, I think. Okay. And I'm going to keep going and filling it up with some more. Kind of like a little science experiment when you see it like fizz. Okay. You know, especially when you put like baking soda and vinegar, that's really good combination too to like clean out like clogged hair, just kind of refreshing your little drains there. And I'm gonna like press it real good. Press, press, press with the back of the spoon. Your kitchen's gonna smell good with all these different essential oils as you're prepping all these gifts. Plus, I think it's really fun to make things for people, and like I said, they can see that you've put that extra time and effort in making something special for them. Another great thing to make during the holidays are cookies. I'm going to make also my reindeer cupcakes. I might get a chance to film that for you in a little short so you can see what those look like. Those are adorable. The kids used to give those out as gifts to the teachers. But I like these DIY gifts again because I said it's like a more personalized thing, and it's a way to be able to give lots of gifts to, you know, several friends, just a little small token of appreciation for them as a gift for the holiday season. These can make great hostess gifts too. I did a whole nother video on other hostess gifts that can be purchased. You don't have time to make something or inclination, but these are make great hostess gifts too. Little spray balls, you can get those, you know, in the little travel section at like CVS kind of place. So here's what mine looks like. It's fizzing a little bit with the water I sprayed on it, and just packing that down, and I'm going to let that set, and then I'll pop them out. Here we go with the next step for the hot cocoa bombs. I'm going to pop these out of the silicone. I let those chill a little bit in the fridge just to speed up the process. See how nice and shiny. Okay, then I'm going to take 1/2 and put some hot cocoa mix, which would end up being like maybe like 3 tablespoons or so. Then, oh, I do have these fun little mini marshmallows. These were hard to find. I couldn't find them in person before, but I found them online before, so those were so fun. Okay, then I did this. I did microwave the plate for 15 seconds with the water, let the water off, and then I'm going to try to get this a little bit melty. then, oh, I should have had that ready. Let me just set that there. You might want to have like a little piece of foil out of parchment paper. Set these on, and then you just get that little melty, and then you stick it together. Now, I did this method before. I think when I made them last time, I tried this method, and I think I decided I liked them to melt a little bit of chocolate to kind of hold it together better. That is sticking. Again, I think I'm going to just melt a little chocolate and adhere that, so I like that method better. So this recipe says it works, but I don't think it totally stays together as easily. So I'm going to melt that chocolate, do that, show you what that looks like. So I'm going to show you instead, give you just a little bit of melted chocolate to the edges. Oops, I hope you can do it nicely. You can. And to the edges. I don't put it the whole edge, but just like some spots. Okay. Let's give that a go. I think when I made these last, that's what I decided the method I liked best. I tried a couple different methods. Okay. Ta-da! And I have this side with a hot cocoa mix. And I will add this other side. Do you ever start just break out in some random song? Okay. And then probably clean your hands off it. It's going to get a big mess, but there you go. Ta-da! These are so fun. And then you just let those cool and try not to touch them so much, but I'm touching a little bit more than maybe I wanted to because it takes off some of the shine. But anyways, but on the top, then you'll just add some more. Once that dries, more melted chocolate, maybe a drizzle. You could do different colors even, but like I said, I like the crushed peppermint on top. It makes it really pretty. And you'll just let those set and cool and stick together, and those are so fun. And when I made those and gave those as gifts, people really enjoyed those. I'll pop in a video of all the finished products once everything sets and when the oranges are dry, and I can make that potpourri, little packets. And I appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining. This is Graciously Gloria. Please consider subscribing and pressing the like button for more great videos, and happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you.